Hey, fuck Donald Trump.
Hey,
fuck Donald Trump.
Hey,
fuck Donald Trump.
Okay.
Fuck a nigga up.
Hey,
fuck Donald Trump.
Okay.
Fuck
Okay.
Donald Trump. Someone told me a lie today.
Yes.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with nothing. I just like that soundbite. But what's up, everyone? This is episode 72 of the iLLogical Sense podcast.
72.
And this is me, your boy, Mr. Busby, along with my boy, Mr. JC Nuthead.
It's cracking, everybody. Once again,
this
episode is brought to you by I should say.
Bly.
By
Back ass.
Slower King Cole.
Bye. Damn, this early?
Yeah, but you gotta remember, I'm stretching it out, so like I only poured like a little bit, and then the rest is just Sprite. But I gotta keep up. I gotta keep it going, man. Shout out to Uncle Boy.
Well, it's 11 o'clock, so fuck it. This happy hour somewhere.
Right.
Because we're recording this pretty early this time, because we always record like hella late, but this time, it's Martin Luther King's birthday.
Exactly. Rest in peace and happy birthday to the great Martin Luther King Jr.
I turned a lie today. Again, I just like that soundbite.
It's a great soundbite. I mean, it's one that very few people even know. It's just,
Somebody told a lie one day.
This the way he said. Even if you guys ever watched the video of that speech, I remember when I watched it in high school. I just saw the way he looked when he just looked so irritated. Someone told me a lie today.
It definitely sounds better when you look at his facial expression, for sure. For sure.
I just told JC right before we recorded. It just popped in my head. Somebody told me a lie today.
And fortunately for y'all, I found the soundbite. So one more time.
Somebody told a lie one day.
Oh shit! But to start this show off on a somber note, we gotta do prayers up to all the mudslides that happened out here in Cali and Santa Barbara.
Yeah, so they had a bunch of those mudslides in Montecito near Santa Barbara up here. They actually closed the 101 down towards that.
Is it still closed?
Yeah, so I mean the 101's active all throughout LA County, but when you start getting outwards, it's completely blocked off.
Damn.
The mudslides came in. Unfortunately, we're up to 17 deaths. I think 2 to 4 have been confirmed to be children. Another 100 plus have been taken to the hospitals, and over 100 homes have been destroyed in that situation. So we want to send our thoughts and prayers to all those who are affected by that.
Damn.
Just Cali's going through some shit, man. Like Mother Earth, somebody done pissed Mother Earth off over here in Cali. Might got something to do with them Hollywood things that we'll get into later.
Yeah, well, it's better than being in Hawaii, because over this weekend, someone decided to push the red button by accident. In case you
air quotes accident.
You could say that. So apparently, early Saturday morning out here, Hawaiian residents got a nice little surprise from their phones and all over TV when the emergency alert system came off, and it said on their phones, "Ballistic missiles are on the way to the island. Seek cover. This is not a drill." Nigga, what?
Can you imagine? Man. I'm sorry. Can you imagine? Just sitting there watching some old ass reruns of Doug or Rocko's Modern Life. And next thing you know, the news alert pops up, and now in your mind, you like, damn, I think Doug and Rocko's Modern Life was the last thing I'm going to see in my lifetime.
No, I saw this one on Twitter, some dude was watching a basketball game, and the alert popped up, and he just kept, I just imagine if it was you watching the Lakers play, you would have just man, turn this shit off, man.
Yep.
You wouldn't even flip. Everyone's running around you. I don't know. And it didn't say what kind of missiles. It could have been a nuke, just a regular ass missiles. It just said ballistic missiles, and everyone went fucking ballistic crazy. So about half an hour, everyone's seeking cover until the alert popped up and said, "My bad, false alarm."
No, they can say all that false alarm shit all they want to. That wasn't no false alarm to me. That was a motherfucking warning shot. Like, don't get this shit twisted. You know what I'm saying? And there's a reason for it. Because, as you like to coin them, and I firmly like to coin them at times, the whole ass motherfucker in office.
You call him motherfucker. He's whole ass nigga in office.
Nah, that's right. No. There's a difference. Right. There's a difference. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Around my house, I call him whole ass nigga.
But yeah, to me, that Hawaii shit, that wasn't no accident. That was a warning shot letting them know, like, we could replay this shit from 1941 if you want to, motherfucker. Like, it don't matter to us.
Well, the dude came out and he admitted that he accidentally pressed the button by mistake. And can you imagine, just hypothetically, can you imagine if, because they were supposed to do the emergency alert system, like the test, you know how we always get that shit out here?
Right.
He was supposed to do that, but he accidentally pushed the wrong button and sent out everything. And he was like, can you imagine, you know, that academics gif when he's looking hella uneasy?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Oh, he's like, oh, shit.
Yep.
Just imagine.
On some fucking, some Independence Day shit when, you know, oops. What you mean, oops?
Oops. Fuck you mean, oops? Can you imagine calling your boss like, I pushed the wrong button, and the whole nation, because they said their cell phones, the signal went down, so everyone's just calling landlines and losing their damn minds. And can you imagine just him going crazy trying to make sure everything, like everyone doesn't panic, and then. Yeah, because people were putting their kids into the sewers and they were doing hella shit. I read one little quote saying like this dude was at a breakfast buffet, and then when everyone's phone went off, everyone started running away crazy and shit. And then he didn't do nothing. He was like, "Well, shit, I'm getting my breakfast, bro. Shit."
See, that describes me to a T. Like at that point in my mind, it's like. What is there to do? It's about to happen. Like, let me enjoy my final moments the way I planned on enjoying my final damn moments. Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. Shit.
I tell people all the time, if I'm asleep on the airplane, you got me fucked up if you think you're going to try to wake me up. Just let me sleep.
Well, shit, man. Well, you know, thank God. I remember I saw a report. Dude came out and admitted that he fucked up. So, you know, he fired.
Oh, yeah, he gone.
He gone. But, yeah, thank God everyone in Hawaii is okay.
For sure.
That shit really happened.
Yeah, definitely.
But when it goes, that was like a little shithole incident that happened. Speaking of a shithole.
Yeah. Man, where do we begin? Nigga. Because this motherfucker been in the news all week.
And you know me, people, I don't like talking about this nigga, but he just likes to be cute.
Yes.
No homo.
So, I mean, That's what
I say about racist people. That's what I say about racist people. When they do some racial shit, I just be like, oh, that's cute. Y'all trying to be cute.
That actually fit perfect because I thought you were going to say pause, and then afterwards I was going to say, let's rewind it back. But let's rewind this back. The last time we were on air, it was episode 71, and we were in the midst of watching the national title game, which, of course, he was there.
And he didn't know the words of the national anthem.
Exactly. We went off air before the title game, and on a side note, what a damn title game that was. Alabama ends up coming... Shit, man. They end up coming back off the name of a freshman that nobody could even pronounce.
That pass was crazy. I remember I think I was uploading the podcast. I was uploading something. I was looking up something. And I look up, and they play, and he just bombs it out there. I was like, oh, shit, that's game. Because I was thinking, like, maybe the other team has another chance to win. Or I was like, oh, no, that's game. Blouses. The end.
Yo, man.
Wow.
You'll never see anybody that wide open like that. But, yeah, you know, Alabama came up with the victory. They've won, I think, 3 titles out of the last 4.
Side note, Kenner's performance was all right, too.
Yeah, it was cool. Special. You know, let's just get off of these side notes because they're all tangents. They're tangents of this motherfucker.
We're all, because we just want to avoid the subject, kind of. Right. Fuck that nigga.
Yeah, people were pissed off with Kendrick's performance. Because they were basically looking at it from the standpoint of, you had opportunity to go at Trump, yada, yada, yada. And to me, I was like, well, that wouldn't have mattered because he performed outside the damn stadium. It wasn't like Trump was like, hey, let me go see this nigga Kendrick Lamar real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't in attendance.
And plus, Kendrick has made it obvious. He said it like time and time again. He's not really going to do political talk like that for obvious reasons because, you know, he doesn't want that kind of power.
Exactly.
Yet.
So everything was cool at that point as far as the Monday goes. But in hindsight, looking back at it, maybe if we knew what we know now, Kendrick definitely would have took some shots because this motherfucker...
This nigga.
Man.
Okay, so during a meeting, Even in my notes, I have him as hoe ass nigga. That's what I call it. It's either 45 or hoe ass nigga. So
he's not bullshitting either. So we start. Of course, we started. And sorry again.
Yeah.
For all the listeners out there, hit us up on Twitter. We finally have our account handle open. I think I might send a screenshot of the notes just to confirm what Busby says. It's not bullshit. Whole ass nigga in office is actually the name of the topic.
That's what I call him on Twitter all the damn time. That's what we call him around the house. We do not on this show. His name is not to be mentioned. So it's whole ass nigga or 45.
Oh shit.
Whole ass nigga decided to have a meeting with his I can't even say. With his people. I can't say. I have a lazy tongue. And they were talking about immigration and all that. So then he goes and says, verbatim, I'm just going to say what he said. He said, why are we allowing, witnesses said in that meeting, he says, why are we allowing people that come from shithole countries to come into the U.S.? Now, these shithole countries that he's talking about is referring to African countries like Haiti and El Salvador and other little spots, where we come from. He said, and why can't we bring people from Norway over here? Now, people in Norway is just full of white people. So it's like, you can't get any more racist than that. So to me, I wasn't surprised. Every time he says some crazy shit, I'm really not surprised at all. I'm more surprised that everyone else is surprised.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense to me. Like, are you niggas dead? Why are y'all getting so angry about this shit?
I mean,
I've
been telling you for over a year. That's basically how I take all this information in.
Same here. I've been like that. I ever since he came in, I've been chill about it. Doesn't mean I want to talk about it, but it's just I'm numb to this whole ass nigga now.
I'll tell you what one country he better not have been speaking of because he out his damn mind if he even tries to speak on this country.
What?
Wakanda. Don't you dare talk about Wakanda now. That ain't no shithole.
No. You know what's funny? This news reporter, before I even logged in, this news reporter said she would pay any newscaster to ask whole ass nigga about Wakanda and see what he says. They would pay any of them $200 just asking for what he says.
That'd be awesome.
Back to this, when he said the whole shithole country, it was like a huge backlash. Everyone was pissed off. Don Lemon just had enough, and he just flat out said, the whole ass nigga in office is racist. Yep. He didn't say that verbatim, but that's how I saw it.
And you and I both were talking about it like, no shit. You think?
No shit. You think? So it's, and there was like a huge resist. People, like out here in San Francisco, they even had a fucking big ass billboard that said shithole president.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, and immigration and everyone crying and shit like that. It's just crazy how like it's mentally exhausting just to be outraged about all the little stupid ass shit he does. Because it's stupid. People think he's evil. He's not evil. He's a fucking idiot. There's a difference. That's what I call him. He's just a fucking bigot ass idiot.
Yeah, I mean, the thing of it is, though, is he genuinely knows what the hell he's doing. So,
you really think so?
Of course. I mean, we talked about this. We talked about this last week, where it was the reason why he ran for president wasn't because he wanted to make change. He just got bored and he felt it would help his brand. So clearly, he knows what he's doing.
But he knows the walls are also. But he does know the walls are closing in on him.
Oh, for sure.
Like it's just not. It's not a matter of if he gets impeached or arrested. It's just a matter of when. So,
exactly. I mean, my mom. At this point, I'm sorry. At this point, I'm just waiting for people to defend the fact. If he ever does come out and says "nigger" with the hard ER. Well, they say it in rap lyrics. So so now you want to be offended? And it's like, all right, bro, for sure. Because they're doing the exact same shit with this topic right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they are. It's not surprising. Like I said, is it really that surprising?
No, of course not. I'm trying to pull my best Aaron Magruder and try to prophesy all this shit in advance.
Yeah. Like I'm Huey Newton. I'm Huey Freeman in the third season. Nah, I'm retired.
Yeah. And then, in honor of today, I'm going to Canada.
I'm going to Canada. Shit.
But what country that he probably thinks is a shithole, but it ain't a shithole to the Ball family.
Oh, shit. Big Baller Brand does.
Big Baller Brand in Lithuania.
Oh.
So,
okay. Yeah, I saw little bits of that shit.
Yeah, so if you remember, how we were discussing over these past few weeks, of course, the whole situation with Jello, so he gets taken out of UCLA. They've already took Melo out of the Chino Hills High School. to homeschool them. And they was like, well, we going to get paid in Lithuania, so we just going to go over there. And everybody was laughing until you realize just how big the brand is over there now, because the half-court logo is just a big-ass triple B logo. And the referees, their uniform on the back is a triple B logo. Like, wow. They are not playing around. And on a Tuesday, a work day of all days, some 115,000 viewers tuned into Facebook Live and watched this game.
Well, that's amazing. Well, damn. See, I got, even though the character of LeVar Ball is kind of just out there, of course, reminds me of a certain somebody that I used to work with. OJ, not that OJ, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
He has a great mind.
Oh, yeah.
And he knows what he's doing. And he's branding himself. And, like I said, it's going to be a fire-ass 30 for 30 whenever they decide to do that.
Easily.
Hopefully the two kids become superstars like their older brother, but
Yes, yeah.
We'll see.
And they had good debuts. Jello dropped 19. Melo had he had 10, but it was his passing, man. That dude, Melo done grew from like 5'8" to like 6'5" overnight. Like the shit's scary.
Speaking of that,
he's tall now.
Speaking of that, like his middle brother, did you see that clip of LeVar like pretty much going off on him when they confronted him about stealing?
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, oh wow. I mean, he is a dad. I'm not surprised how he acted. So.
Of course. Yeah, he's been doing that. If you watch season 1, towards the end of the season when they were doing the car shopping and Melo kept acting up in the dealership. Nah, he put all that LeVar character to the side. He went straight into dad mode and was like, look, man, Don't let these cameras fool you.
Yeah, I'll beat your ass for these cameras.
You remind me of a jackass.
You remind me of a jackass. Let me get that soundbite.
No,
I'll send that to you.
I'm looking for it.
I already know what it is. I'll send it to you. But yeah, that's besides the point. So if we stay in like shithole racist thing, Lupe Fiasco. Oh, Lupe. So because of, I respect Lupe as a rapper. He dropped classic with Food and Liquor and the Cool. But when it comes to politics and his little woke shit, sometimes he sounds like the smartest dumb nigga in the room. So when elections go down during election years, he's one of the advocates on Twitter that always not even Twitter but in interviews, he always talks about how he doesn't like to vote. He doesn't want to vote. He says your vote doesn't matter. Government bullshit, all that other bullshit, right? Well, after Trump made his little shithole comments, he goes on Twitter and he says after all that, he's going to vote in the midterm elections. And to me, it's just like, really, bruh? Okay. Okay, so that's all it had to take for you. Because I remember during the elections, when he was going against Hillary, he was like, oh, I'm not voting. And he was just looking down, and he was one of the first people to laugh after Trump got elected. And now when he sees how real it gets, then he decides to be like, okay, I'm going to vote in the midterm elections to get him out of there. Oh, now you want him out. Okay. Sometimes Lupe is just full of shit sometimes, man. I like him, but sometimes his politics shit just gets on my fucking nerves. He was always critical about Obama's leadership, too. When Obama was in office, he was talking about him like he was the most evil person in the world. And he's like a mass demon and all that. That's how everyone looks at the government. That's how they looked at Hillary. That's how they looked at Obama. They think they're like some mass demons or some shit like that. Like they're going to take the mask off and be, it was me, Austin! And we all going to go like, oh, son of a bitch. Everyone's going to be like JR. But in reality, they're just trying to move things along. Now,
Basically.
Now you see a real demon in the flesh. No mask, no nothing. He's letting you know how he gets down. Now you scared. Fuck out of here, Lupe.
You know what edition of Lupe Fiasco I appreciate and I've grown to like a lot?
What?
Martial arts Lupe Fiasco. You be watching him in them videos where he working that sword, man. He a cold nigga with that sword, man.
Yeah, he trying to be like Kung Fu Kenny or something.
Hey, man, he's the original Kung Fu Kenny. He's Kung Fu Lupe.
Speaking of Kung Fu Kenny, a little side note. I kind of haven't been going into this debate because everyone's been talking about it on Twitter. He sparked a debate on Twitter. I didn't get into it because I think it's just stupid. But he feels that Kendrick isn't a top tier rapper.
You don't
in
say.
His opinion, he feels lyrically and all this other stuff, he's not a top tier rapper in his opinion.
Well, damn.
And it's just, I don't know if he's like Joe Budden just said, because he's been very critical of Lupe, about certain things. And I think Joe Budden just pretty much just said, why don't you just diss him? Why don't you just get a line and just diss him and test him and see what happens? Because Kendrick has drew the line in the sand for all these rappers for the past, since Control? He drew the line in the sand and he told people to step up.
Basically.
Why doesn't Lupe just flat out just diss them and see what happens? Just so he can test to see who the real lyrical miracle rappers are.
I mean,
that's just me.
You and I both were in agreement on that, my friend. I mean, at this rate, what's everybody got to lose at this point? Just go for it.
Like, I don't know why Lupe just wants to be like wannabe Joe Budden and just voice his opinion. I mean, it's cool, but he says he retired from rapping too, kind of. So at this point, he should just get a podcast or something. That would be interesting. I'll listen to a Lupe podcast.
Hell yeah.
That'd be interesting. But at this point, like Joe Budden said, like, what's his name? Kendrick didn't say Candyman. He just promised you see Candyman. He said it on Element. So draw the line in the sand. So why don't you step over that line and see what you made of? I like Lupe, and he is one of the top rappers. But did he ever drop 3 classics back to back to back?
No.
No.
I got the soundbite for that too.
No. Someone told me a lie today.
No.
No. But whatever, man. Lupe just needs to just put it to the mic or whatever. Speaking of Mike, Tommy Lahren. That's how you say her name? Tommy Lahren, whatever her damn name is, the racist ass wannabe Ann Coulter. I don't pay attention to her. And people like her and Rush Limbaugh and all these other and Bill O'Reilly, I don't pay attention to what they say because they're trollers. They're racial trollers. They know what they're saying. And honestly, I don't even feel they believe this shit because I don't know. They're just trying to make money off of it. I think Aaron McGruder kind of showed how that shit is, right? They're just doing. They know their audience, so they're just catering to the audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So a video came out of her Tommy in her car, and she's singing along to 21 Savage's bank account. And Black Twitter just had a frenzy about it, like, "Oh, you're racist, but you're still taking from our culture." And I'm like, you guys don't see the jig in this? Do you know what she's doing right now? She knows what she's doing. She's a troller. She did it for a reaction. And, dude, she likes black dudes herself. I would not be surprised if she has a black boyfriend getting rimmed in all the damn time. It's like, it's not surprising to me.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of this shit's not surprising to me. It's just like, people that get up, like, they get so mad about little shit now. It's like, why y'all getting so angry? Look at that. I'm sounding like the grandma from Good Kid, Mad City. Why are you so angry?
Oh man.
Like, is I'm getting old, or I'm just getting numb to it, or I'm just adapted? I don't know what it is. Man.
I'm numb to the shit at this point. Like, I mean, that's, you know what it is too. It's just becoming numb because as you get older, you just start prioritizing what the fuck you allow to piss you off throughout the daily basis.
Exactly. And when it comes to that chick, I mean, honestly, she is kind of cute. But would I fuck her? No. If I'm drunk. Anyway, moving on. Racist people. Still on the term of racist people.
Yeah, so as we were heading off the air, well, I think beforehand, H&M made waves for all the wrong reasons. Yeah. First of all, do you shop at H&M? Because I do not.
Man, they ain't got nothing in my size, man. Look at me. I'm a big nigga. You think I'm gonna wear some skinny jeans and shit? No.
Well, I have no reason to shop in there.
Exactly.
But they were running this campaign featuring children, and everything was looking good until you got to the picture of the little black boy in the green hoodie. And the caption read, "The coolest monkey in the jungle," which doesn't necessarily seem as bad until you kind of factor in this whole, something called historical relevancy.
Yeah, especially when you see the white kid wearing a hoodie that says, what's it called? Survivor or some shit like that?
Lion, Survivors, Tigers, some, I don't know. What? Yeah, lions, tigers, bears, oh my fucking monkey.
Beans, tomatoes, again.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I remember the look he gives the black kid, like, you sure you want to wear that?
Right. Yeah, like.
And the black kid has that look like, nigga, take the picture and give me this check. Take the picture, nigga. Take the picture.
But yeah, so H&M, of course, they caught a lot of heat all this week
Oh yeah, man. You know how many photos I seen of that black kid looking like a king and all this other stuff. Twitter just went. This is the thing I don't like about social media. Sometimes they have selective. They have trendy outrage. That's what I like to call it. It's trend. It's a trend to be outraged. So everyone posts their little videos. Everyone posts their little long ass paragraphs about how racist it is and all this other stuff. And I didn't jump on it because it was just like y'all upset, aren't you? But I know y'all upset for about what, a week or two, and then you guys are gonna get over it.
Yeah, see, for me, I wasn't one to jump all in arms. It was when I started, going into defense mode, was when you got white people who were like, who cares? Well,
of course.
Not everybody needs to think about race. And it's like, excuse me, that's what we call white privilege, where you don't have to think about that shit on a day-to-day basis.
Racist people always say that shit all the damn time. Why does it always gotta be racial? It's like,
I'm like, motherfucker, your ancestors are the ones that made it that way. Like, we're operating off of what they were operating off of.
I think I made this metaphor. It was like some Jedi mind trick. I ain't racist, you're racist. And then you do it's like, I'm not racist, you're the one that's racist.
Right.
I'm the one that's racist. Like, they expect us to say that shit.
Basically.
Like, get the fuck out of here. So, I'm just like, to me, it's just like whatever, because I know how black folks are, and they just did a little too much making, graphic art of photoshops of him looking like a king, and Diddy saying, I'm gonna give the kid more money to be in my model shit, and just a whole bunch of other shit. It just felt like they were trying too hard.
I mean, it definitely went too far, but I'll tell you what, the hilarity came when they started doing their own memes, and then they took the white kids and they started enhancing those with some racially charged captions and stuff.
They put the kid that got bullied who ended up being racist.
Right.
Remember the racist bully victim? And he said number one honky or some shit.
Exactly. For me, that was like, okay. But what I really didn't agree with was over the weekend. I don't know if it was
South Africa.
Yeah, the South Africa when old boy just ran up in there and just started tearing shit down. And I'm like,
yeah,
you know
why?
What? Yeah, I'm like, my whole thing is be upset with corporate, and that's really what it boils down to.
Yeah,
this should be eye opening for a lot of companies. Start diversifying your fucking payroll. Like, seriously, I guarantee
diversify people in that freaking ad campaign.
Exactly.
Because that had to go through layers of what's it called? Approval. Had to be in the meeting. Then they had to go to, and then they had to take the photo shoot, and then they had to do this. It went through layers of shit before it reached the website.
And my whole thing is, if you get at least 2 or 3 black or brown folks with some common damn sense, they would have told you, yo, this ain't a good look. And even if, if you want to keep the caption on the hoodie, that's fine, but put it on the other kid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
put it on the white kid. That'd be funny.
Right. So my whole thing is, if you were that upset, take it to corporate. The thing is, you're destroying a store, and yes, you're kind of affecting corporate, but you're really affecting the employees that got nothing to do with that.
Go and clean that shit up.
Exactly.
And you filmed it. Like, you thought you were going to get a lot of cool points and shit like that. You did that in hopes of going viral, which they did. And they ended up closing some of those stores out there because of just how angry everyone was at H&M. And it was like, like you said, be mad at corporate. Don't be mad at the employees.
Exactly.
But like I said before, because I posted on my Instagram, like, how long y'all going to be upset? Because y'all just going to go back and wear the shit. Like, I'm being absolutely honest, because everyone just like it's trendy to be, it's a trend to be outraged and then go back and wear the shit. It's not a trend no more, they're gonna go right back to wearing the shit.
For sure. And I mean, even the ones we saw it right off the back, the ones that were offended, some of them even backed down when the mom came out and she was like, I don't care. We've been doing this for years.
You saw how quiet it got when the mom came in and said, "Oh, just don't worry about it." I mean, we can disagree with her, but if she's not, it's stupid on her part. But if she ain't tripping about it, maybe you shouldn't trip. So just chill. That's fucked up to say, but it's like some people just need to just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Well, I do commend G-Eazy and Weeknd for backing away from it. If they know this is fucked up, they have to back away from them.
Oh, for sure.
It's not a good look.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything less from G-Eazy. You know what I'm saying?
And the Weeknd.
So. I was just singling out G-Eazy just for the simple fact he's a fellow pedestrian.
And of course, him too, yeah.
So yeah, that didn't surprise me at all. As soon as I didn't even know he had a partner. Again, I only know about H&M when they're in the news. Like, I don't nothing attracts me to go purchase anything from that store.
Man, that shit's that shit's for the fucking hype beast and trendy ass people and shit. I don't really care about H&M like that. I mean, it is what it is, but
yeah.
Your ass goes on Facebook getting in arguments and shit. I don't know how you do that, but you just do that.
Yeah, some days I just got free time in between, you know what I'm saying, in between homework and being, Uber and Lyft, and most recently adding DoorDash and Grubhub to the resume.
Yeah, get that money, bro.
Hell yeah.
Get that money, bro.
But
somebody told a lie.
But sometimes I got time, and I'm scrolling through and I see this story take place. Centered around Genuine, because of course Genuine's on Big Brother UK, and I'm looking
Big Brother UK.
Yeah, and
wow, you must really need that money.
International. And so the story goes that this transgender woman, India Willoughby, who's one of the members on there, she was basically asking him, which never mind the fact that I have, that transgender is a part of, my gender or whatever. If I'm just woman, would you date me? And his whole thing was, no, I mean, I don't have an issue with you. Just I would not prefer to, not going to date a transgender. Next thing you know, she lunges at him and then attempts to try to kiss him. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, time out, hold up,
fuck?
Wait a minute.
That's what happened?
That's way out of line. But what shocked me was a whole bunch of people then turned on Genuine, not her.
What kind of shit is that?
Talking about, well, you should just, you should be more open to it, and you're just being transphobic. And I'm reading that, and as soon as I get done reading that, I'm like, yeah, fuck all that. No means fucking no. I don't know if many people forget what's going on in Hollywood now.
Or like Caesar.
No! Basically. I don't know if people kind of remember what's kind of going on right now in Hollywood, but we're going through this whole situation of women coming out because they were being approached with misconduct and sexual assault by men, and they were not approving of it. Mm-hmm. But all of a sudden, when the roles switch, all of a sudden, as a heterosexual black man, they're just supposed to take it, and that's that. No, that's not how that shit's gonna fucking work, man. Like, it's not. And I'm going to put this on air right now because this shit really triggered me. I was so pissed off with it. Pistosity at the highest level.
Man, I'm starting to get to that point of pistosity.
Just because I don't prefer to have a relationship with anybody that is transgender does not mean I do not want them to have the same civil liberties and rights that every living human being should have and should be that are required to survive on this earth. That has nothing to do with it. I have a preference. I would like to have children. Mm-hmm. There's no way that you can't do that. On top of that, I do not want to be involved with somebody that at one point in their lives was the same gender as me. That does not mean that I feel like they should be outcasts. That does not mean that I feel like we should belittle them and talk down upon them. That's not what that means. But at the same time, respect where I'm coming from. Okay? That's the whole situation of this all. People are just demanding the respect that they rightfully deserve. Why is it all of a sudden now that and I'll say this because it really boils down to it, not only as a man, but as a black man, all of a sudden now you want to flip the script and act brand new.
See, I had a conversation with one of my homegirls last week about this topic and about how the transgenders and the gay folks always want to push their gay agenda on you when you don't agree with their lifestyle and say just because Genuine didn't want to kiss the dude, or like the whole Nipsey Hussle shit. When he didn't agree with some stuff, he makes him homophobic, but he's not really homophobic. He's not homophobic at all. He just doesn't get down like that. And, he probably just doesn't agree with it. So if he doesn't agree with it, y'all can just stay over there. But that doesn't make him homophobic. So just because Genuine didn't want to fucking kiss it doesn't mean he's like a homophobe or whatever. He's not down with that.
Yeah.
So he's not going to kiss the chick so he can be like, he's not going to kiss the chick that used to be a man because he feels uncomfortable with that.
Exactly. And my whole thing is, again, we're going through this whole situation in Hollywood because women are being approached in manners that they should not be approached. You should never force yourself on anybody in those manners. Yes. But here we just saw in video the same situation just reversed with a man and a woman who was formerly a man. And all of a sudden now you want to apply different types of loopholes and shit like that. That's fucking hypocritical. It's so damn hypocritical, just like Emily Linden. For those who don't remember Emily Linden, that bitch and that poor excuse of a woman, she went on Twitter, what was it, November, and she goes,
wow, you had this ready,
I've been sitting on this for a while, and I've been waiting for the right time to bring this out. I'm telling you, I had the screenshot saved, and as soon as this, I'm telling you, this genuine situation triggered the fuck out of me. But,
Pistosity!
Yes. I'm telling you right now, her tweets read as the following. Quote, here's an unpopular opinion. I'm actually not all that concerned about innocent men losing their jobs over false sexual assault harassment allegations. Sorry, if some innocent men's reputations have to take a hit in the process of undoing the patriarchy, that is a price I'm absolutely willing to pay. Bitch,
wow, nice
who the fuck
subway.
is you?
That's a nice subway to the next topic.
A price you're willing to pay? What price are you paying? You ain't paying shit. And that's the issue. That's the motherfucking issue we have right now, Busby. It's this simple. It's, you know, as a man, I fully agree that women have it rough out here, and they shouldn't have it that way. But then don't try to get something into a positive light by then doing more damage to people that ain't got shit to do with it and are trying to help your cause. Like that, that's all. That's that hypocritical shit. And you know how I feel about hypocrites. I don't fuck with that shit at all, dude. Like, I don't play with that.
Oh damn, you called me Aaron. Shit, you pissed.
Pistosity.
Pistosity. See, the number one thing about me, JC calls me Aaron. That's how I know he's pissed. He always calls me Busby. When he calls me Aaron, he's pissed.
Yes,
he's mad. He's big mad.
I'm telling you, I've been sitting on this for almost 2 months now, to the dot. And I will again. This whole situation, it really triggered me because it's like, yo, man, we can agree to disagree and still keep it pushing, and I can still support you, but respect where I'm coming from. And
where I'm coming from.
Exactly. Like, just, you know, that's where I'm at with that.
It's an illogical world, bruh. Well,
basically.
Speaking of an illogical world, that's a nice little segue to the next subject. So, James Franco and Azizi Ansari got caught up last week.
They did.
Some females came out and accused them of sexual assault. Ah, man. Well, James Franco I wasn't really that surprised about because, you know, it's kind of been well known. It happened like a few months ago, a few years ago when he was trying to holler at some underage chick and he didn't know social media, so he pretty much apologized for that shit. He said he didn't know no better. You know, they kind of gave him a pass off that. But then, a week after he won his Golden Globe, an article came out when 5 women came out accusing him of sexual assault, pretty much being a perv, pretty much. And one of them says years back he got caught up for taking another. Yeah, he pretty much one chick accused him saying like during an orgy scene. I was like, first of all, why are you doing an orgy scene? But he took the plastic off his dick so he could kind of penetrate more or whatever, and she felt uncomfortable, and he'll make little perverted comments, and, you know, 5 women came out about it, and, you know, it wasn't really a good look. So he was on Seth Meyers, and he made a little statement saying, there are people that need to be heard. I have my own side of the story, but I believe in these people that have been underrepresented, getting their stories out enough that I will hold back things that I could say just because I believe it that much. So I have to take a knock because I'm not going to try and actively refute things, and I will because I believe in it that much. So pretty much he's taking a back seat and he's pretty much apologized for what happened. So, you know.
Yeah, to me, I'll wait to hear more about the story as it progresses. Basically, that's all. That's the difference between James Franco and everybody else. It's that everybody else was kind of like, oh, yeah, you know, I got to apologize. His whole stance was, hey, I apologize if there was something that came across, but I'm going to firmly deny any of these accusations. I have my own versions. But at the same time, we are in a situation where women do not need to be discouraged by this, and they need to keep coming out and telling their truths. For that's why I'm going to give this some time because, again, everybody else, they pretty much indicted themselves. Pretty much. On the other hand, he's kind of, you know, he's recognizing some situations where, you know, all right, maybe I did mess up, but it's not, if I did, it likely wasn't to that extreme, and y'all got one rendition of the story, I got my own, but that's not the focus right now.
Pretty much. Like, I fucked up, but, you know. He stepped in front of the bullet. So I commend him. Unlike all the other ones that waited a long time, he stepped in front of the bullet and admitted it. So excuse me. Well, not admit it, but he knew he fucked up. So
Right.
Now this situation with Aziz Ansari, this shit was just random as fuck. So late Saturday, an article popped up from this website called Babe.com. How you say Babe? B-E-B, whatever. And it's like a feminist...
Babe.net or something.
Babe.net, some shit. It was like a feminist website or whatever. And an article came out about Aziz Ansari, from an anonymous female that he met at an Oscar party last year. And she pretty much has her own account of the worst date she's ever been on was with him. Now, I sent the story to JC. We both read it. And pretty much in the story, she pretty much accuses Aziz Ansari of sexually assaulting her. That's what she implied, right? Now, when I first read it, I was more in shock, like, fuck. Because I like Aziz Ansari. I like Masters of None. And it's like, fuck, man. Why did you have to be a fucking jackass for, man?
Right.
But then I was kind of more in shock. So I read the story. I was more on her side of the story. Of course, I'm always on the woman's side at first. Because, she's the one doing it. So she's the victim or whatever, right?
Right.
But then I decided to reread it. For whatever, like, I remember some people said, like, yo, you should reread that story. And just read it from an open mind point. So I reread the story. And then I started questioning shit. And then when I was pretty much done with the story, I was like, wait a fucking minute. So... You say this. I told you to read it, so you sum up the story so I could just tell people about what happened.
Yeah, so basically this woman met Aziz at the an awards ceremony.
It was the award. It was the Oscars after party.
The Oscars after party. He's taking pictures with the camera. She liked the camera. They took pictures with. Over the course of the night, they kept drawing eye contact with each other. They exchanged numbers, and they agreed to go out on a date. I don't know if it was weeks or just days later. Either way, they end up going out on the date. And they go out to dinner. She starts complaining that it was white wine, even though she likes red wine, but it was already ordered. He pays the bills. They could get out there. She felt it was rushed. They go back to his place. They get into some adult relations. She doesn't say that she said she kind of felt like they were rushing, but she didn't stop it.
Yeah, she let it keep going.
Yeah, which was a red flag for me right off the jump, because I'm like, yo, anytime I'm in an uncomfortable situation, I let that shit be known right then and there, so that way there's no need to continue processing. I'm not saying that you can't feel uncomfortable, but to me, anytime anybody feels uncomfortable, usually it's always something said.
Yes.
So they're kissing, and then she said that he's, reaching for her breasts, and he goes to take her shirt off. That's when she says, whoa, let's slow down. He goes, okay. So he backs off, and they continue kissing. It then leads to him performing oral sex on her, which she clearly didn't have an issue with.
Yeah.
Then it went to her performing oral sex on him, which she says it was, for her, it was weird. But again, she didn't seem to have an issue with getting his pants off.
She did it twice.
Proceeded.
She did it twice, by the way.
Right. And then when it came time for him to engage in actual sexual intercourse, that's when she said, no, I'm not really feeling it. So he said, okay, like, there's no need to rush, to paraphrase, it's only cool if both of us are down for it. Like, if not, then there's no need to worry about it. Mm-hmm. So then she went to the bathroom for like 5 minutes, comes back and gets herself together. And then she says, at that point, I felt like he was going to, just rub on my hair or give me a back rub. And then he pulls his penis back out and he goes, again? So I got on my knees and I sucked his dick again. I'm like, wait, what?
I'm sorry, I just imagine Aziz Ansari doing that with that little grin on his face.
Oh, the big old smile where his mouth's all wide open.
Yeah, bro, I can see him doing that.
Yeah. But see, that's where a red flag came up again. It was like, look, you said you've been feeling uncomfortable this whole situation.
Yes.
You went and got yourself, you're rearranging yourself in the bathroom. You were in there for 5 minutes. You come back out, and then he says, suck my dick again. And you do it.
Twice. That's 2 times. 2 times.
And so from there, after a while, she's like, I'm going to go. And then she messages him saying, basically trying to put it all off on him as if he was the only one that initiated this engagement.
Yeah. So I read all that, and when I read it again, I was like, wait a minute, she set this nigga up. And then it's like,
Basically.
so pretty much you got embarrassed that you messed around with this nigga. And the one quote that stuck out to me the most, because it's just an article came out in Atlantic that pretty much did the same shit, when she told him, "Oh, you're just like the rest of them." That pretty much stuck a nerve with me, because it was like, oh, so you thought he was gonna make you his boyfriend, his girlfriend and shit. You thought you all were gonna have a happily ever after, and you were gonna go to the red carpets and all this other shit. But all he wanted to do was just fuck. And probably from his viewpoint, you probably gave him a lot of signs that made him think that, oh, so you just want to fuck and that's it. Because she was even saying in that little text message, well, you didn't take my nonverbal cues and da-da-da-da-da. Like, he was supposed to read your fucking mind. Fuck you mean? Even he said, I'm confused because I thought you wanted this. And the only thing I got from this article is that Aziz has no game when it comes to women. It seemed like an episode.
Pure fame.
Yeah, it seemed like an episode from Masters of None. It was just like, oh, so he really goes through this shit.
Damn, man. See, now you done fucked up, because now I got the image of when she comes out the bathroom and he just looks at her and he tilts his head sideways and he just starts pointing to his dick with that open ass smile.
No, the one that got me laughing was when he was kissing her and he was putting his thumbs down her throat, and I was just like, "What the fuck you are, Mick Foley?"
Mr. Thumbo.
No, it was two fingers. He's kissing her and he puts her thumbs down. Also, Mr. Sacco shit. Like, nigga, what the fuck you doing? I was like, going to kiss a female, you just do that shit.
That's some random ass shit.
Imagine, like, you know how Mick Foley sets it up and she's getting ready. So imagine her going out the bathroom and he has his hands up.
He's all
ready
turned
to
around
go.
and he's got his left hand on his right two fingers and he's just looking like smirking and shit, just looking around,
waiting for her to turn around.
Right.
Just watching it around. I'm sorry. Just that image alone, man. Oh shit, that's funny. I'm sorry, I'm an asshole. That's just that image alone.
It is funny, and like we publicly been stating for the many episodes, we're not condoning sexual assault, rape, or any of that. This does not sound like that, though. It just sounds like somebody that was uncomfortable, but went along with it.
I have some points I had to break down. I wrote it all down. These are the first point. Number one, if she felt uncomfortable, she should have just left. She had other chances to leave. She should have left. Point blank. She should have just told him to leave. Number two, he didn't force her to do anything. She sucked his dick twice.
Yep.
He didn't force her. He didn't pressure her. He just said he just didn't. And then when she told him to stop, he stopped. Which is another point. When she said stop, he stopped every time. And called her a cab at that. Mm-hmm. There was that. She kept giving him nonverbal signs, but she didn't want to communicate properly like an adult. So she could have gave him. She should have just said, "I'm not comfortable with this." And if she would have said that, he would have legit stopped. So,
he was stopping all throughout.
Yeah. And, like I said before, Aziz just comes off as a dude who has no game in foreplay. I mean, that's just... like, I would be embarrassed. Like, he's going to get roasted by his friends about it. I mean, it's embarrassing for him. It's really embarrassing.
Personality and smiles go a long fucking way. Remember that.
And if anything, he's probably going to make his... Because I don't think his career is going to be over after this. I really feel... Because this article came out from The Atlantic, which you all should read, called The Humiliation of Azizi Ansari. And this woman wrote a really good takedown piece of that piece of the whole fucking expose or whatever. She took she pretty much destroyed that shit in just fucking 1,300 words. So y'all should read that whenever you get a chance. But yeah, in a way, he's gonna be all right. He's gonna bounce back. Hopefully, I really hope they don't cancel his show because of this. And I really just hope, if anything, he just says because he did release a statement apologizing for it, because he is a firm believer in feminism and shit like
for
that.
Sure.
So hopefully he just makes this into a stand-up piece, which will be kind of funny.
Yeah.
And also the website it comes from, because I looked around the website, and it's a really man-hating, man on trash, I'm every woman, but I'm going to be a hoe on the side type of website. Yeah,
basically, gentrifying hoism. That's basically what it is.
Exactly. And I'm always on the side of the women, of course, but the timing of both incidents, like I've said before, this came out a week after they won the Golden Globes. James Franco and Azizi Ansari. They both won their awards, and now you want to come out and fucking try to destroy their careers. It's fucked up, man. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if it was a black dude? Oh, it did happen. Fucking what's his name? The dude who played Nat Turner with Birth of a Nation.
Yeah.
Even though that situation was false and he was not accused, like he wasn't accused and everything, and he was not guilty on all counts. It still fucked up the term of the movie, and his career has not been the same since.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we know why that ends up. They tried doing the same shit in preparation for Black Panther. We know where those sources come from. It's not a secret. Anytime you got a film made by black people that don't have white people shine in the bright light, or don't have that many white people in the film at all, of course, there's going to be some mysterious controversy that flows.
I mean,
with it.
yeah, like that could be a good lead after, like they tried to get my boy Stan Lee. Well, shit. Stan Lee was kind of a perv too, but you know.
Hey, nurses out here trying to work against Stan Lee.
Years ago, some shit that happened years ago. But you know, I can't.
He groped him or something.
I can't. Like I said, shit happens years ago, but it's just like this is where the whole Me Too shit gets fucked up. Because then all these females are gonna come out talking about, oh, he touched my hand back then, and I felt violated. Well, let's get him out the fucking paint. What? No. Shit, it's about to be a new fucking movement. Not me.
Yeah, shit.
Hashtag not me.
Genuine need to wear two hoodies. Me too and not me.
Me too. Hashtag not me. Shout out to the colon for that. But yeah, man, that shit hella just had me wrecked because that shit happens to dudes all the damn time. Yeah, sometimes, like when females like try to do that whole, they give them signs and they do sexual acts on them, and then the next morning they text them like, oh, I felt pressured and all this other shit, and they're like, whoa, what the fuck? You should have just told me this shit. And then they get themselves in a pickle and shit, like situations like this. For Azizi Ansari, he's just a very famous guy, and that shit happens. But like I said before, he gonna be all right unless more shit comes out.
Long story short, for everybody, ladies and gentlemen listening to this podcast,
yes,
we are always going to be in defense of those who are claiming themselves to be victims of sexual assault. And this is not what I'm implying. What I am implying is if you are in a situation where you have control and nobody is forcing you to do anything and you still feel uncomfortable, use your voice.
Period.
People ain't mind readers. Like you gotta be adult enough to use your voice. That way we know. Because again, like Busby said, men are we act on actions
instead of words.
Instead of words. And if you're showing us actions that show that you're down, but you're not,
tell us that shit.
Tell us. This is very simple.
Very simple. Just tell us that shit and we'll stop. Now, if the dude if he doesn't listen to you, then yeah, that's a problem. But if he stops, we will stop because men are very simple. We are very simple people, ladies. We are very simple. We're kind of one-track minded in a way, and we're very upfront. So if you tell us to stop, more than anything, we will stop.
Pretty much.
So, yeah. So let's move on along. Someone told a lie today. So anyway, when it comes to music,
I wonder if Aziz said that this morning when he read the story. Oh my word! Somebody told a lie today.
He has that high ass voice, and then all of a sudden, like a deep voice comes in. Someone told me a lie today.
Right.
Anyway, so when it comes to music, so last week, Eminem dropped the Chloroseptic remix, and as we're recording this, nothing has dropped yet. But some shit came out about the Chloroseptic remix that I didn't know about. Bizarre from D12 came out, and he pretty much posted a picture from Wasted 5'9" on Twitter when he posted the remix, and he pretty much said like, "Yeah, don't bite the hand that feeds you. We never liked you anyway." And he added Joe Budden, and I'm going like, hold up, what? So pretty much, Bizarre from D12 implied that M's verse on the Chloroseptic remix was a big ass subliminal to Joe Budden, and I was like, what? Nah, I was thinking he was going at all his critics and shit like that, but I don't think he was going at Joe, because Eminem's known to be, he's not a subliminal person. You know how Eminem is. Maybe he is with certain people like Cannabis and shit like that, but he's not a subliminal person. If he's gonna diss you, he's gonna say your name. And he's going to make it very fucking obvious. He's a straight up person. But this shit, I just couldn't hear it. Maybe there was some lines in there, like maybe he was talking about Joe here, but I was like, nah, it's too far-fetched. Nah. And Joe, I mean, he went back and forth with Bizarre on Twitter, but he didn't really care about it. He went on his podcast saying, "Nah, it ain't about me." And I was just like, yeah, whatever. However, I usually don't talk about this shit, but, they kind of gave me the permission. So I get inside info from people on Twitter every now and then. People just tell me random shit. I don't know why they tell me. They just tell me shit because I'm Busby. And one of my sources told me, because he has people within the Shady camp, he told me that after that verse, M is recording a lot, supposedly. Allegedly. He is recording a lot. And he said he wasn't 100% sure. This was like before shit started coming out. He told me he's not 100% sure, but he heard that M has a record directed at Joe Budden. He wasn't known for certain, but that's what he told me. And I was just like, I hope that's not true. I was like, that doesn't make sense. I was like, that doesn't sound like him. Like, he would go after Joe, right? And then a few days later, I go on Twitter. I see Joe Budden post a tweet that said, "I heard a wild rumor about me today." Ooh. And I was just like, huh. And then I'm just scrolling around YouTube, and whole ass academics posts a fucking, he posts a video, and pretty much he said that his sources told him that, there's a diss track aimed at Joe Budden from Eminem.
Well, damn.
And I'm just sitting back like, okay, so academics is so we're all getting the same source. So it's like if it's like a strong rumor going around the industry, it could happen. So as we're recording this right now, it might have dropped already. It might not. Hopefully, I don't want, because if that shit happens, Eminem will be no different than that whole ass nigga in office. You're getting mad because of someone's opinion about your fucking shitty ass album. Like, I'm still calling it shitty. That verse does not direct the fact that the album is still trash. Let's get that out the way. He's still my favorite artist. Yeah, he's still my favorite artist of all time, and that verse still made me a believer. But don't get it twisted. That album is still trash. Sorry, M. Yeah. But, I hope... What do you think about it?
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I'm... Because I want new music from M. It's like great music where he's rapping, but I don't want no fucking... shots at your own fucking label mate.
Right. Because at this point for me, we're talking about three figures that one's way past his prime and two don't even have a pulse in hip hop in terms of the music anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not taking it like we ain't listening for Bizarre, and he's got one or two songs.
Bizarre was the worst member of D12. Come on, bro.
Like, nobody's checking for Bizarre. And the thing is with Joe Budden is, granted, he's not releasing music, but he's one of the hottest people in the culture, in the culture right now because of what he's doing with the culture and taking it into with the podcast and the talk show. But we're dealing with artists that aren't putting music out like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a different story if we're talking about three artists in their prime.
Yeah,
we're so
Lupe
far,
and Kendrick.
Like we're so far beyond 2004 at this point where it's like that's why I'm just like, we'll just wait to see what happens. I'm not tripping off of it.
I ain't tripping about it either. So,
but some quick notes. It's actually a good way to go into this. Some more news coming out from Aftermath. Your boy Dr. Dre apparently is
your boy
working on Detox again.
Man, I saw that little rumor from some dude on Yahoo said that he talked to Dre and said, "What's up with Detox?" And Dre just goes and says, "Oh, I'm working on some shit." And then everyone's going like, "Oh my God, he's working on Detox."
Yeah, and I'm like, he didn't say he was working on Detox. He just but you know how people are, so we'll keep an eye out for that.
Detox, no, that shit's dead.
As far as I'm concerned, it's dead. He's working on music. We'll see what plays.
Dr. Dre makes music for himself. That I don't know why he does it. He just makes music for himself and he just keeps it in the vault. That's all he does.
Yeah. Shout out to Mary J. Blige. She got her Hollywood Walk of Fame on her birthday last week. And side note, special shout out to my sister because her and Mary J. Blige share the same birthday, January 11th.
Hey, that's what's up.
Kevin Gates got released from prison finally. So
I saw a tweet. I saw on Instagram saying producers send me beats. So he has a lot to say.
I was just about to say, anticipate maybe 3 albums and 7 mixtapes at this point. Mm-hmm. Lil Uzi Vert and DJ Drama apparently got some
they still have
issues
some
and they
issues. Tweefing.
Yeah, and to round this out, something I wanted to talk about, Liam Neeson. Did you watch the interview that he did with the Associated Press this week?
I saw bits and clips of it, but I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, so, of course, he's getting ready to promote his new film, The Commuter. And
that movie's good, by the way. You should see that.
Okay, for sure. And so they were talking about just the imbalance when it comes to equality between men and women in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And so I'm laughing because this shit's funny as hell. He goes on this tangent about we have to be better as men. We have to fix the issue that we've put aside for these women. You know, there's a reason why they're obeying the ways that the laws ran. It's because we've done it and we have to fix it. And the reporter then asks him, so are you willing to take a pay cut so that women can get equal pay? And he just looks at her and says, no. And
in that taken voice?
Yes.
No.
And not only does he say no, it's the follow-up that'll kill you. Because then it's no. And as I'm watching it, all I took from that is I found 2 brand new sound bites that we could put on our show. So for the listeners out there, Liam Neeson.
No. It's Liam Neeson. No. That's Qui-Gon Jinn, bro. that's like from Get Out. Oh no.
No. But yeah, I found that hilarious, and as a result of that hilarity, from this point forward, you will now hear random no's and no.
Oh shit, man. Well,
there was some new music that dropped out.
Yes, there was. Yeah, Black Panther soundtrack.
Yeah, man. Of course, we're getting ready. You know, we're T-minus 1 full month away from.
When does the soundtrack drop?
Yeah, well, I would imagine that the soundtrack would drop. You know, soundtracks we usually drop 3 days before, but that was because it was on a Tuesday. So I'm kind of hoping that they drop the soundtrack a week before, but chances are the soundtrack gonna drop on the same day.
Probably.
Anyways, we had a new offering. This time from J-Rock featuring Kendrick, James Blake, and Future.
Yes.
This was called King's Dead, and motherfucking J-Rock is motherfucking spitting.
He always spits, man. Kendrick was spitting. Future, the only verse that needed to get cut out was Future's. You know why? I don't know.
It added some relevancy. I mean, you know. It added some weight.
That's you. But when it comes to that, when it comes to these songs now I kind of want to get away from that. I don't want to listen to these singles now. I want to listen to if this is pretty much what they're saying, Kendrick pretty much pulled an American Gangster with this shit. So it's pretty much a Kendrick / TDE compilation album.
Right.
So I want to reel back and I just want to see, okay, how does this album gonna sound fully? Because it's pretty much gonna be like American Gangster. That's how one source said it. He said it's pretty much his own version of American Gangster.
Right.
So, hey, shout out to Marvel. That's gonna be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's a big move.
Yeah.
As far as albums go,
dry week. It was a really dry week since it's the beginning of the year. But
we did find 2.
Yes.
One that we're familiar with, and one that I actually did some research, and I was like, oh, I know about her all along. I just never paid attention.
Yes.
So to start off with, we got rapper Slyvan LaCue.
Shout out Sylvan.
Definitely. And shout out to my boy Jonathan, who serves as his videographer. He's actually the one that put me up on Sylvan. And
then you put me up on Sylvan, and then Sylvan shouted me out, and he's a wrestling fan, so we best friends. So we all best friends.
Hell yeah. So he dropped his latest album, Apologies in Advance.
Yes.
And this is something that I feel that everybody needs to check out for sure.
It really does. Really has a very... When I heard it the first time, because he gave me like a listen in advance, it felt very Section 80-ish, if you know what I mean. It had a great vibe throughout the whole album, and it's pretty much a concept album where he's pretty much having a session about his mental health, and he's sitting talking to people about what he goes through, and every song represents his mindset at that moment.
Yeah, so the way he composed this was the songs are put in between a bunch of interludes, and these interludes are of him in a circle with basically in a group, and they're having a meeting, and they're talking about just life, like Busby was saying, mental illness, just the struggles of stress and feeling like you got to appease everybody. And the dope thing about it is that with each interlude in it, as it brings on something different, those are what the next few songs tie in with.
Yes, they do. My favorite track on here is Selfish.
Selfish is a good one. I like that. I like the interlude as well.
Yeah, the lead into it, like the whole album itself, like Guilt Trip, and Empathy and Coffee Break. I was really fucking with
Coffee Break and Grateful were really the two that caught my attention.
Yeah.
But for me, the interlude and the song that really stuck out to me was Step 10, which was Ain't No Perfect, and then Perfect Imperfections.
Yeah.
And for me, that one really stood out because they did bring up a good point in the interlude, which was if there's no such thing as perfect, that means that you gotta let go of this concept that there's imperfection as well.
Yeah.
And that's something that you really don't think of until you actually break it down, because yes, we go about life thinking, oh, I got to do it this perfect way. In reality, the reality of the situation is there's no such thing as perfect. Mm-hmm. But even in recognizing that, we still operate off of the fact that, wow, I still got imperfections myself. But if ain't no such thing as perfect, there's no such thing as imperfect either.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, so, and then, of course, the Perfect Imperfections was a good one.
I like the last track, 555.
I was about to say, and then, there's something about rappers when they have titles that are
he said flat out he was really inspired by 444. So that record really inspired him to really just go and tackle it. And he made it the last track, and it was perfect. He put it right after the Apology Accepted. That really ties into everything, and that track kind of pretty much sums up the entire album. So. Yeah, it's a really good album. Y'all should go and listen to it, man. Slyvan LaCue.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's definitely something you want to add into your list. You want to check out.
Yeah, he dropped it on the perfect day because there wasn't really a lot of music that dropped, so you could really sit with it. And I think probably in the next few weeks, there's not going to be a lot of music that's going to come out. So y'all should really just sit with this album and really listen to it until the next batches pop up randomly.
Definitely.
And Havana, na, na, na.
Yeah, so we had again. I obviously knew about Havana. I didn't know really that much about Camila Cabello until I actually started doing some research on her and realized I actually did know about her this whole time. I just never paid attention.
Yeah.
So Camila Cabello, this is her debut eponymous album because the album's name is Camila. She was one of the 5 members of Fifth Harmony, the group that started out on X Factor and then ended up having a decent career as a unit.
Group. Mm-hmm.
She went solo. She felt that as much as she loved being in the group, she had her own creative ways that she wanted to go about as a solo artist.
She pretty much pulled a Justin.
Basically. And this is, after they kind of identified her as the lead singer, yada, yada, yada. So going into it, I didn't know what to expect. I'm just knowing, okay, this is probably going to be, one of those pop-ish albums. As soon as I pressed play, though, I was pleasantly surprised that I was wrong. It was a very Latin pop and R&B type vibe. And in doing some more research with it, I found out that Frank Dukes pretty much was not only heading the boards as the main producer, but he also served as executive producer. And those that you probably won't know the name Frank Dukes, but as soon as you search up his production credits, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about.
Or your iTunes producer list. Yeah, he did a lot of shit.
Oh yeah, he's well known without the industry.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed this album. I liked it for what it was. She's got a really good voice. Never Be the Same in all these years, they really highlight her voice, which is her voice. It's not necessarily the strength, it's more kind of like a soft and subtle, but it has this rasp to it that adds that edge.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so it makes it sound very raw and it sounds genuine. So those were the 2 tracks that really stood out. Of course, those are the beginning ones.
Havana, of course.
Havana, of course, was the lead single with Young Thug. That
was a good look for Thug, man. Thug jumped on that track real good.
As I say all the time on here, when it comes to him as a solo artist, I'm not paying attention. But when he's featured or when he's doing collab projects, you got my attention.
See, what if Young Thug apologizes for those comments and said that he was wrong?
Then we can move forward.
Okay, well,
that's all he has to do. I don't hold grudges against nobody.
I mean, I'm just looking at because Young Thug hasn't been, he hasn't been trolling lately. I think I can see he's really focused more on the music and shit. Well, last week he was on fucking Instagram. He was at the strip club. So I'm like, okay, you straight. No pun intended. Yeah. With me with this album, it was cool. It's not my taste pretty much because you put me onto it. So I was like, okay, so. I came into it expecting pop, and I got pop, and I can't be mad at it. It's not my cup of tea, because I can deal with pop, but don't get too poppy, you know?
Right.
Because Justin Bieber, I guess he's like the perfect example. He can pretty much do it all. Same with Chris Brown. Fuck him.
Right.
But he can do it all. So this one, she just kind of stayed one track, and probably on the second half, that's when it kind of started just getting very like slow and melodic and shit like that. And maybe that's when the soulful shit came out, like Real Friends and fucking Something's Gotta Give.
Right.
It was cool. You know, it was a little nice teaser. It's not even that long either. It's like a 37 minutes. Or if you take off the Never Be the Same radio edit, it's probably like 30 minutes or 35 minutes.
Yeah, it gets
album.
it gets right straight to the point. So definitely for those, that's something I definitely would recommend checking out.
You know, but like you said, man, like we said, it's still early in the year, so everyone's prepping for what to come out, because Justin Timberlake's about to come out with another song this week. So, you know, hopefully you're like this one, okay? I still fuck with Filthy.
We'll see.
Because it is the clean version.
Well, you know why people are, taking their time right now.
Playoffs,
baby.
Playoffs.
It is the playoffs, and my, oh my.
Man.
What a divisional round we had this weekend.
Yes, we had. So let's start off. Can we start off with the Vikings?
Of
Let's
course.
start off with that shit, man.
Yeah, so last week in the wild card round,
it was boring.
It was very boring, and I did not give my best performance on the picks. I went 1-3. This week I would have went 4-0 had I stuck with my pick on the Eagles, but last minute I picked the Falcons, and we'll get to that later.
That's what you get.
Yeah, the moral of the story is, children, stick to your convictions.
Don't pick Atlanta.
Yeah. Now, as far as the Vikings go, I came home and I'm watching the game. By the time I got home, it was 17-0, and I'm like, man, I ain't watching this shit. So I watched David Letterman, his new show, Netflix.
Which is really good, by the way, with the greatest president of all time.
Yeah. So you have Obama on there, which I appreciated. Definitely want to, for those, check that out. So I'm watching that, and then I get ready to do some homework. And out of nowhere, I get the update on my phone. The Saints erase 17-0 deficit and have now taken the lead. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, hold up. So I changed the channel. When I changed the channel, it's right after the Vikings had made the field goal to go up. What was it, 21-20? And so at that point, now I'm in tune, because I'm like, oh shit, okay, cool. We got a nice, we going.
Now we got a game.
Drew Brees does what Drew Brees do, and he drove them all the way down. They kicked the field goal, and there's like 25 seconds left in the game.
Let's just get to the last 10 seconds, man.
Yeah,
let's
fast
just
forward,
get to that.
Case Keenum's, they're not completing passes. He finally connects with, I think it was Diggs, and they get to wherever they were with 10 seconds left.
Yeah, and I remember I was at work, so I saw all this go down on my phone, and I look at the phone, I was like, 10 seconds left. Where were they? What yard line were they at?
Well, it was a 61-yard touchdown, so they had to have been around the 30-yard line.
Yeah, they were at the 30. I was just like, hey, this game's over. So I put my phone down. Shit. 15 minutes later, not 15, like probably 2 minutes later, I get a notification saying Vikings win. I'm like, hold on, what? And I saw the video. Let me break it down, since you always like breaking it down. Oh boy, hikes the ball, and he throws it to Giggs. Case Keenum, my bad.
No. So Case Keenum hiked the ball.
Case Keenum hiked the ball, yes.
Yeah, he threw it to Stephon Diggs.
And he caught it, and then the way it all happened, like, even watching it, it's in slow motion. You see the Saints player try to go in for a tackle.
Yeah,
he misses it.
So Saints rookie, the rookie safety, Marcus Williams, he leads with his head for whatever reason.
He missed a hit stick on that.
How he described it in the post-game interview was, he was saying, I didn't want to get in a situation where I get called for pass interference and then they get another play. Which at that point, when you rewind it again, it made sense on what he was doing. But it's just testament, don't lead with your head. Because, like Busby said, it would look like a legit hit stick that went wrong in Madden.
Yeah,
and when he missed,
he hit his own player.
Yes, and it opened all this room
the lane, and
for
he
Stephon
just
Diggs.
ran for the touchdown. nobody around him. It was someone out of a fucking movie. It was like, oh my god. Now, if I was Viking, and there was in Minnesota, that stadium erupted. And then he took off his helmet. Oh boy, took out his helmet and just did some old fucking, hands in the air. I saw a meme video where they played Celine Dion's "My Heart Goes On."
Man, the memes were on point. I don't know if you saw the clip of Patrick Ewing last month where he was looking at one of his players that had no business shooting a shot, and he goes, "When do you practice that shot?
Do you take that shot?
Do you take that shot? When?" And they stuck that one on here and said, "Do you practice that tackle? When?" And so then shout out to my boy Brandon. He brought another one into TSDN where it showed a whole bunch of people running from a gun shooting, and then it had Marcus Williams like ducking with the hit stick, like in the midst of it, like running away.
That's fucked
Just
up.
a whole lot of stuff. And then what made the matters even worse, this is a rule that I hate in the NFL. It should be a walk-off and then that's it. No.
They had to kick the field goal?
They had to do one final play for the PAT. So they had to send 11 of the Saints players back out from the locker room. Because at this point,
they're celebrating. Everyone's celebrating.
Ain't nothing left to stand around and do. Like, it's time to go.
And
they had to send 11 of them back out.
And the clock went out, too. Like, literally, when he crossed the line, the clock went to 0. That was it.
So the significance on that is that this is actually the first time in postseason history where we've had a walk-off touchdown. It's never happened before.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
It was pandemonium and menace. They're calling it the mini miracle.
You should have saw the Louisiana newspaper. It just said explicit, because they were cussing. Fuck. Because you can't defend that. Like, it's almost one of those, like, you can't really say anything. It's like, this is...
And really, it sucks because Marcus Williams had a great rookie year. Like, in actuality, he was one of the reasons why they even got back in the game yesterday. He had a key interception in the game that allowed them to come back. But it's just, man, it's one of those things where shit.
What Adrian Peterson feels.
He was as bad as Marcus Williams was for that play yesterday. There's no way in hell that matches how Adrian Peterson was watching both his former teams playing in that game
in the playoffs. So
so there was that. The Jaguars apparently shocked everybody by beating the Steelers. I wasn't shocked. I actually called that game for a few reasons. Number one, defensive back Mike Mitchell opened up his mouth talking about, "Oh, we're excited to play the Patriots." And I'm like, hold up, bro. Y'all got a game before you got to potentially play the Patriots in the AFC game. Next thing you know, Le'Veon Bell comes out, and he's threatening to sit out the entire 2018 season or even just retire if the Steelers franchise tag him again. So, their attention ain't on this game.
Yeah.
And, of course, all the analysts, they're picking against the Jaguars. And I'm like, this is if there's ever a perfect trap game, this is the perfect trap game. And sure enough, at one point in this game, the score was 28-7 Jaguars.
Yep. And then within the fourth quarter, fourth quarter, that's when they came back?
No, I wouldn't even say they started coming back. I mean, it got close. It got to 28-21, but it seemed like as soon as they were creeping up and creeping
Jaguars
in, the Jags kept pulling away. And Antonio Brown he pretty much spearheaded the game for the Steelers, but they could not stop that offense.
They couldn't stop that offense at all. That defense,
which is crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy because last week the offense only scored 10 points. Yeah, and they put up 45.
Well, if we could really be really specific, my Niners beat the shit out the Jaguars.
That don't mean much.
Shut up. But I would say the Jaguars need to fix up that defense because they about to go against Brady and them.
Well, see, here's the thing about the Jaguars defense. They're definitely gonna have to clean it up going against Brady. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I read a stat. They had 55 sacks this year.
Man, stats.
And no. Here's the importance of this. They had 55 sacks while they dropped back 7 to 8 players in defense, which means they're getting all these sacks just off a 3-man pressure. If they can find a way to penetrate the Patriots' offensive line and get that as they're covering his receivers,
you get in Brady's face, he becomes a whole different quarterback.
Exactly. So we'll see how that
plays
out.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's the fucking Patriots. And And also, back to that game, I remember in the last few seconds, I just hate the time management the Steelers had. They literally just gave up in the last few minutes. They gave up. I was like, you
right.
hoe ass niggas, y'all deserve to lose.
That's basically what it was. One of the Jaguars players actually last week, he actually called the score of the game when they were asking him, it doesn't matter to us, we'll play a grind out game, or even if we got to win 45-42, we'll take it. And a week later, that was the final score, 45-42.
Well, damn.
Yeah. And then catapulting from the Patriots, we kind of all expected that outcome. It was 35-7.
I mean, for me, I wanted some
Titans.
fuckery to happen. I wanted the Titans to win because I wanted something different. But you can't stop Brady and them. Even conflict or no conflict within the organization, they are still the Patriots, and they will tap that ass.
Yeah, so Titans were the first ones to score, and from what I remember, they didn't score.
Brady
again.
just said, you know who the fuck I am?
Basically.
So.
But then reports actually just came out this morning that the coach, head coach Mike Mularkey and the Titans, they agreed to part ways.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Even after he took him to the playoffs. That's fucked up.
Yeah, so we'll see how that plays out.
How long has he been coaching for him?
I think it was 4 years.
Oh.
But see, it's interesting for me because the last 2 years he's had a winning record, and this was their first year back in the playoffs. So something tells me something's going on internally.
That's probably.
And then, lo and behold, Josh McDaniels is actually getting another shot at head coaching because as soon as he finishes up as the Patriots offensive coordinator whenever their season ends, he's going over to the Colts, and he's going to be their next head coach.
Well, if Belichick's disciples, that's what I call them, Belichick's disciples, man.
Yeah.
So, shout out to them.
There's that. And then, of course,
coach.
like I said, the Eagles.
Oh, the Eagles. Yeah, we got to get them. Yeah, Atlanta. Man.
I picked the Eagles, and then I was like, wait a minute, they don't have Carson Wentz. Nick Foles is dope, but I don't know if he can get past this Falcons, especially the ones that put up 26 points last week. Yeah, again, stick with your convictions because this ended in a 15-10 final, and the Falcons looked like they did not know what the hell they were doing on offense.
Yeah, they didn't. They really didn't. Matt Ryan didn't know what he was doing. And it's like, well, damn, Matt. And that's crazy. And on Monday, fucking Georgia gives up a fucking Georgia gives up the touchdown at home. And then 5 days later, you try to get over that shit, and Atlanta lays a fucking goose egg and fucks up. So I don't know what's going on with the Falcons. You can get a brand new stadium.
But it will not counteract the fact that Georgia sports is either cursed or they're just pure ass when it comes down to it.
I'll say pure ass.
Yeah.
Let's say ass.
I'm siding with
I
that.
like ass, so they're pure ass. Someone told me a lie today. So, well, when it comes to your coach, he had your coach, John Gruden, he had himself a little press conference, and he looked like he felt right at home.
Yeah, so he fit right in, of course. Like we touched on last week, John Gruden was returning back to the Raiders. Tuesday, they held the press conference.
Felt surreal looking at that, though.
Yeah, a bunch of his former players, they all showed up in attendance to lend their support. Charles Woodson even asked a question, is there a non-trade clause in your contract, referring back to when Al Davis traded him away to the Bucks. Everybody had a good laugh at that. Basically what he said was, I'm here to get down to work. I'm not here to clash with anybody. I plan on working real well with Reggie McKenzie. At the end of the day, this isn't about what I want. It's not about what Reggie wants. It's not about what Mark Davis wants. It's about what's best for the Raiders. And, of course, when you think of Raiders, you think of John Gruden. Raiders Nation across the land are ecstatic about this. He's putting together his staff. So offensive coordinator Greg Olson is actually returning. He was there my first 2 years as the offensive coordinator.
Okay.
So he's coming back after his tenure with the Rams.
He brought back Tom Cable?
Yeah, Tom Cable's coming back as the offensive line coach.
I just looked at that right now. What the fuck?
Yeah,
okay.
So he'll be the offensive line coach.
Wasn't he the dude that got in trouble with all those women?
Oh, no. Nah.
Who am I thinking of?
Else. Tom Cable was a head coach of the Raiders before.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. He was the one that got in all that funk. You don't remember that?
Mm-mm. Oh, was he? Oh, shit. Maybe
yeah. That's why I was shocked.
Hey, man, you got to remember, I was a 49ers fan when all that stuff was.
But still, I paid attention to when that nigga got caught up with shit.
No.
Damn.
Okay,
well, yeah, shit.
So he's coming back as offensive line coach. Defensive coordinator Paul Gunther is coming over from the Cincinnati Bengals. And then as his special teams coach, he's got Rich Bisaccia.
So Chucky's getting his people together. He's ready to play. Chucky's ready
to play. He's got everything going, so we'll see how that plays out.
I really hope
fired.
Who they fired?
Well, they fired their offensive coordinator.
I ain't gonna help. They still trash. Fuck them.
Yeah, and the only reason why I bring them up is because I don't know if they filled that vacancy, but the reason why I put them on here is because they announced the Raiders are going back to London, and they will be playing the Seahawks on October 14th, and that's how they're playing that out.
Don't you kind of? Those are the days you kind of do miss, so you could go to London.
Oh, the travel days?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that ride to London's also 18 hours, so you know. Yeah.
But you be in London though.
Yeah, but
like a week, right?
I'd also have to sit down on a plane for 36 hours. Yeah.
I mean,
it's not as comfortable as you think.
Oh, I know. I figured it's not, but still.
Yeah. Your Niners were in the news.
Yeah, it's just the weed. Fucking Reuben Foster, man, got arrested for weed in Alabama.
Yes. We'll see how that plays out.
He'll be all right. He's not. Just don't be like what's his name? Who's the boy?
Josh Gordon.
No. Fucking what was his name? He's on your team or was on your team. Fuck, what's his name? And he can't get reinstated. You know who?
Alden Smith.
Yeah, don't be like Alden. That's all.
He was on your team. Motherfucker, he made his name on the 49ers.
Well, he's on your team now. That's your boy. That's your boy. And I don't think he might find a team now, but whatever.
Yeah. Texans were in the news, so they got a brand new GM in Brian Gang. They gave him a 5-year contract. And then they also gave a 5-year extension to head coach Bill O'Brien.
What was their record this year? The Texans?
It wasn't good, but you got to remember it was because Deshaun Watson, he tore his ACL.
Okay.
Remember rookie quarterback? He came in, all of a sudden they ended up winning 3 or 4 in a row.
True.
They were on the rise up, and then he tore his ACL in practice.
That's true. That's right. All right.
Well. I'm never going to hold a head coach responsible for injuries like that. That's something that's out of his control.
Al Davis can.
Yeah. Rest in peace. And then the football talks. Keith Jackson, who was known as the voice of college football for decades, he passed away at the age of 89. So rest in peace to him. Mm-hmm. On the basketball side, I'm gonna keep this short and simple. There's been chippiness going on in the NBA. Everybody want to fight somebody.
I was like they're getting ready for the All-Star pick and choose shit.
Yeah, they're getting ready for the hoes in LA. Like they trying to stake claim. Miami's James Johnson and the Raptors' Serge Ibaka got into it, and that was you got to understand, James Johnson is trained in martial arts, and his mom and dad, the way they punished, they did not give out whoopings. If they felt you were excessively disrespected, they took your ass in a ring, and they was going at it. So that's how he grew up. Well, that's random. He's used to throwing hands. Damian Lillard was pissed off with CP3. Because, they were getting... I wouldn't say they were getting blown out, but the game was pretty much over, and CP3 went in for a layup.
Just practice.
Yeah, Dame was like, yo, what the fuck's going on? Like, what's up with you?
And he tried to slap the ball out of his hand, and CP3 just looked at him like, dude, why are you mad? You lost.
Yeah, pretty much.
Go home.
LeBron out here catching all these L's right now.
LeBron wants to leave. The way I'm looking at him, he's ready to leave. He just wants to get to the finals, get smoked again, and leave.
Yeah, he's just... on one instance, I know he's preserving himself because he's so used to playing into June. On the flip side, though, there was a highlight of them playing the Mavericks, and the rookie Dennis Smith just literally blew right past him, and when I say he didn't even try, he tried more at just standing and watching than he actually tried at even trying to do something.
Wow, that's very un-LeBron-like.
Yeah.
He wants to leave.
He's yelling at the players on the sideline.
Yelling at the coach.
It got on Instagram, and Kyrie Irving over in Boston, he made headlines because he liked it.
Yep.
So,
So he's kind of just like, yep, I made the right decision leaving them niggas.
Yeah, basically. So, he's feeling good. But one person that ain't feeling the chippiness.
Your boy.
That's
your boy, Kevin Durant.
Nah, that's your boy. That's Golden State's boy. Actually, that's your boy because you're a Warriors fan.
I ain't a Warriors fan, bro, but that's your boy.
Nah, you the Warriors fan.
No, I'm
Either way, Kevin Durant, shouts out to him. It's a very big accomplishment. He reached 20,000 points last week. Like I always say, regardless of my hate affair with the Warriors, I will never, ever allow the hate to get in the way of recognizing good basketball. Mm-hmm. And he's for sure a future Hall of Famer. So shouts out to him.
So he needs to stop bitching, though.
And that he does. My baby Lakers out here stunting. They on a 4-game win streak ever since LeVar came out and said the team quit on Luke. And they're doing it on defense too, of all places, which makes me feel real good.
How are they in 2K? Because I'm thinking about buying 2K.
I mean, I'm a boss at 2K, so it don't matter who I run with.
Well, okay.
I can make it work.
But I know, but like them as players, because you know you're a player. That's how I am with. I know it's hella random. I was just thinking, how are they on 2K? Because I might just fuck with them because I could play with the Warriors, but that's like cheating. So I want to play with someone that's like on the come up. So the Lakers seem like that team I could play with.
Man, I could play with the Hawks and I'll still get people that work. It don't matter to me.
It's pretty much if you know the game. If you know the game, yeah. That's how I am with my Niners.
I know cats that pick the Warriors and they out here catching L's because all they do is shoot threes.
Because they thinking everything's gonna go in. No, you got to work for those.
Stupid. Yeah, nah, son. You gotta run that offense.
That's why I love them. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, go ahead.
No, I remember when I played Madden. I remember I haven't played a game in 3 years. I think I told this story, but I used when the Niners were like before Kaepernick and them showed up. I would always use the Niners and I would run the ball on them and I would go against them. I'm picking the Niners. This is back when they were ranking 75 and shit, and niggas are going like, niggas be on mic like, oh, you picking the Niners? I'm gonna whoop your ass. I'm gonna use the Patriots and shit. I'm like, for sure. And then I just run the ball up their ass. Pause. But I was just run the ball and they get all confused because their dumbass always spreads out the fucking defense. They get a 3-4 defense. They spread everything out. I'm like, nigga, I'm running right up the middle. You think I'm gonna keep passing? No, fuck that. That's boring. I'm gonna run on your ass. And then they get all mad that I run the score up on them. I'm like, well, yeah. And then when they stack everyone in the middle, play action, touchdown, and then they quit. Fucking hoe asses. I don't know why.
I apply this lesson to life. You can have the shiniest instruments and tools all you want. If you do not know how to use them, they're fucking pointless and they're useless.
Yep, exactly. So
that's how that goes with 2K. But yeah, like I said, baby Lakers out here stunning. I don't know if we're gonna pull the win out against the Grizzlies in a couple hours.
Man, have faith. Just have faith.
Well, the thing is, Ingram and Lonzo ain't playing. They're both hurt.
Well, shit. We can still pray.
I mean, like I said, I hope for it, but if the streak ends today, I ain't gonna be too upset. It's far beyond our call.
Well,
and then to close out, for past couple of years, everybody's been trying to get Kobe to go over to TNT because we all thought it would be the perfect fit for him. Apparently, he seems to be the one that knew far better than us because I will be the first to admit the guys on TNT kind of stale this year. Not gonna lie,
they are.
But I bring that up to say that he's made a big business move where he's taking his talents to ESPN.
Yes, his own show where he just breaks down game film. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, he will have a brand new show called Detail, and that's going to be premiering in March. And what he's going to be doing is he'll be picking a game previously shown on ESPN, which means the show's probably going to be on a Thursday since ESPN runs the games Wednesday and Friday. And he's just going to break it down live. He feels that
it's going to be live.
Yeah, he's actually going to be breaking down the game film after watching it live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it going to be like it's like past games from like past NBA seasons?
Yeah. So what's going to happen is So what's going to happen is ESPN will likely run a game on a Wednesday.
Oh.
And then the Thursday he's going to
break it down.
Yeah. It's basically Gruden's QB camp. Or whatever.
That's genius. Yeah. I remember. Okay, that's genius. That could work for Kobe. That would work. That's perfect for him.
Oh yeah. Okay. He stays in tune with basketball, but he ain't got to do shit or deal with anybody. I appreciate that.
Man, Jordan.
That's a man that he knows what works for him.
Jordan should have did that shit, but Jordan's out here making shoes and shit. So whatever. Still, Well, on a final note, I have like a final note that I want to talk about. It kind of interests me. So Sarah's is like
I'm sorry.
Go on.
Before we get to your final note, we didn't have a chance to go over this last week, but I just want to give a quick note. We appreciate everybody that gave their feedback on critiquing the show from last year.
Hell yeah.
We definitely paid attention to some of the, opinions and suggestions. And one of the things that I am happy to announce, and like I mentioned earlier, we started up the Twitter account. We are going to be looking for listener feedback to incorporate throughout the show. So what we're going to be doing is we will be posting polls. We'll be posting questions.
Follow the account. What's the account? Like you just made it. The at.
So it is at iLLogical SP. First of all, we can't fit more than 15 damn characters in an @ for whatever reason. I don't fucking understand, but whatever. And we actually had an account that we created in November, but we forgot the password.
Yeah, we literally forgot. I remember, like, we were at barbecue. Like, yeah, make it now. I'm like, oh, for sure. And I made it.
And then we went to Henny Palooza and we forgot everything.
Because I remember, I thought I saved it on my notes, and then you was like, yo, send me the password. I'm like, oh, I'll send it. And I was looking for it. I was like, what the fuck is it? Oh, well.
Right.
All right, well.
But yeah, so again, that's at iLLogical SP. You can follow us now, and again, you can do the same thing, of course, with the Instagram that's been up for a while. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna start looking for segments to include y'all motherfuckers in, so that way you can be a part of the show with us. And
hell
it's gonna
yeah!
lead to some future segments that we're proud to announce when the time properly comes.
Exactly. So, my final note was Sarah Silverman, comedian Sarah Silverman. Late last year, before the year was up, she got into she was kind of ranting and raving about the whole ass nigga in office or something. She was talking about something, and a Twitter troller came in there and pretty much randomly called her a cunt. I don't know why. See, I don't know. Why you laugh? I told you this earlier. You laughed before.
It's not... I'm not laughing because it's just the word itself, cunt. Like, do you know how pissed off you gotta be to call somebody a cunt?
Yeah, man. I mean,
because that's a word that neither one of us use unless we're quoting somebody,
or unless we're really just angry. If you're really angry at a female, you call her a cunt. You must,
yeah,
man,
like
she must have hurt you.
Do you understand how triggered you have to be? I don't know. To me, that's just funny. Like, he was triggered that badly to call her that. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, so he called her a cunt. So instead of blocking him or just tearing him down, Sarah Silverman just went into his profile and just started reading. She had a delayed reaction. She wanted to see what made this dude, that prompted him just to call her a cunt for whatever reason. So she went on his profile and read through his profile, and when she was scrolling down, she saw that he's kind of low-key depressed, and he has back problems, he has no friends, and he was pretty much trying to get banned from Twitter, so he was just doing whatever he can to get his account, like, suspended and taken down and shit. So she replies back saying, like, yo, I've been there before. Like, you know, you need to go seek help. You know, there's classes for that. You need to seek help. And, you know, I know that feeling that my back is messed up. So, you know, you should talk to someone and see. I responded back to you with love. And he was kind of shocked. He was shocked, like, and then he kind of responded back, like, I don't know how to love or whatever. He said something like along that. And they pretty much did a whole back and forth thing on Twitter. They could have DM'd each other, but it was all public. And she was engaging with him and sent him links to go seek help for his depression and shit like that. And she gave him love. And after that, he went and got help. And I guess from looking at his Twitter, he's in a better place now. But I just thought that was really nice of her to do that, and that's something that's missing in this world with all the fuckery going around. People just need love at the end of the day. They need love and communication, and, you know, I just want to end it on that note, because especially on this day, because that's all Martin Luther King just preached. He just wanted us all to love one another. That's all.
That he did. And one thing that he also preached was...
I've seen what's around the corner. I've seen what's over the horizon, and I promise you, you niggas have nothing to celebrate. And no, I won't get there with you. I'm going to Canada. I'm going to Canada.